I'm Susan Bainbridge, and I am very pleased to say that I am an author and a novelist. It's taken a lifetime to reach that stage, but I don't think there's anything more satisfying than finally seeing your own words in print. It's a delicate frost that comes in the Arctic only at very certain times when the temperature is very cold, but there's also enough moisture in the air, and it looks like tiny, tiny little icicles. And the connection with the Hoarfrost and Cherry Blossoms is that they both are very delicate. They come for fleeting moments and then they're gone again, which is kind of the message of the book. You know, so many people now talk about the setting all the time. I suppose it's one of the things I must have done well, because a lot of people say they learn a lot about the Arctic and that they felt like they were there. And yet, for me, the reason, when I began the book, the message in the book has absolutely nothing to do with the setting. It could have been anywhere. And it pleased me just last month because I received an email from a South African gentleman who said, "I just finished your book, and thank you so much for reminding me about those special friendships you have in life." And it reminded him of his time in Rwanda years ago in an expat community. So he saw that the message was a little bit more than just the setting. I thought it was a unique idea. I thought suddenly I wanted to write a book. After I wrote it, I had friends contacting me that I hadn't seen for 20, 30 years, and they were all saying to me, "Susan, you always said there was a book inside you." So I guess I've been talking about it for years and didn't realize it. But the absolute catalyst for me was a best friend who I dedicated the book to. And I was sitting with him one night and saying, "Oh, I've got a book inside me I want to write. I just don't know where to begin." And he said, "You keep me laughing constantly with your stories. Why don't you just sit down and write your stories?" And that was it. I didn't stop after that. I keep asking readers that, because I guess I do have a favorite one, and it's not the hero. It's the Mountie. Perhaps because I was married to one for so long, or just their role in the North. But I just find his humor and his comments and his way of thinking are my favorite. I love Father O'Reilly's message in his final Mass. We learn the message of the Church in our first few years on earth. Then we spend a lifetime delving deeper, reading, thinking, discussing, analyzing. But like all important knowledge, we find ourselves coming full circle, right back to the beginning again. It's a simple message. Jesus said it more than once. God is love. That's it. That's all you really need to know. We teach every child that message in their early church lessons. God is love. If we could only come to grips with that one concept and embrace it, everything else would fall into place quite nicely. God is love. He helps us at the beginning by introducing us to love through our families, but we love our families without any help from God. He knows that. So he doesn't command us to love our father and mother, does he? He tells us to honor our father and mother. God also knows all about our egos. He knows that most of us love ourselves excessively, so he tells us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And that's our mandate. It may be unconscious, but we spend our time on earth trying to learn how to love. If we're lucky, then each experience brings us a tiny bit closer to the perfection. This community has helped me on my personal journey. You have taught me so much about love. Love of life, love of laughter, love of friendship, love of snow and freezing temperatures. Everyone chuckled. The older we get, the more we realize just how delicate this thing called life is. We hold on to it by a tenuous thread. It's a fleeting second, one sweet, beautiful moment in time, like Hoarfrost and Cherry Blossoms. It's my favorite section because I believe it so much, and I've spent years telling my own children the same message. But I think also I appreciate it because of the horrendous research required for that one particular scene. It became like an addiction. So there weren't many moments. It was probably, the question is, how did I remain motivated to do other things? Because it became just all-encompassing. But several times during the writing of it, when I did think, oh, I can't go any further, and I was literally counting words and wondering why I was doing it, I noticed that across from my desk are the photos of my entire family, grandparents, great-grandparents, and I realized I must have put them there purposely because I would lean back in my chair, look at the pictures, and that would energize me again to keep going. So it must have been, I did it for all of my family, alive and past. First of all, if they want to write, they probably already know this, but I know a lot of people think that it's luck or talent, and I think probably everyone has a book inside them and the ability to write it. What it really requires is strong, diligent discipline. If you're going to write a novel, then you need to get up every day and spend 8 hours a day writing or researching or I call it processing, thinking about what you're going to write next. So you have to dedicate a year or two and make it a full-time job. Writing a book is only one part of, step one. And something that's occurred with me since the book's been published is that all of these friends, thank God for internet and Facebook and social networking and Twittering, because all of these friends from 20, 30 years ago have suddenly reappeared, and their support has just been phenomenal. I mean, to have friends who really believe in you and not only read the book, but go into their public library and request it, and email me and tell me they bought 2 copies for their best friends. And getting a book out there is a long process. You can't go viral with a message that everybody just clicks like YouTube. You have to have that core of family and friends that keep it at the forefront of their mind all the time. And I'm going to cry. You can't appreciate, I can't say enough how important that is, to have that core of people that are behind you and believe in you and say the book is great and want to tell the world about it just because they love me. I love them.